Alright, so I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret of mine. How I do my brows. This is a drugstore tutorial. You can get everything here at the drugstore, my friends. Today's provider is Ardell Brow Defining Kit. We got the COVERGIRL. This is a non-paid sponsored message. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna be showing you guys how I correct my eyebrow issues. Let's get started. So this is just what I'm gonna be using today. This is a drugstore eyebrow makeup tutorial using the Ardell Eyebrow Brow Defining Kit. I believe I got this at, Target or something like that. And it came with this, which was really cool. So if you're like on the go and you're like, dang, because I really think that's how I got this. I was flying back from Scranton to Atlanta and literally I was like, gotta buy a brush and a brow thing. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just get them together. Boom, pack. Came in so clutch. And guess what? I kept using it. So that was a good investment. So we're using Ardell, we're using COVERGIRL, we're using this little brush. It's all you need, mamas. Like, you don't need a lot. The first thing I do is I look at my eyebrows and I make sure that there's no hairs poking out. But sometimes if I don't have a tweezer, I just use a lot of concealer underneath and it kind of conceals everything. So if you're like on the go and you really can't tweeze your brows, it's okay. Like, I'll show you guys how you can conceal the hairs underneath your eyebrows as we go throughout this tutorial. Really want to hone in on the fact that me putting eyebrows on my face is going to change my entire makeup look. The eyebrows frame your face. So the first thing that I do here is I comb out my brows. Okay, and now I'm just gonna put some setting spray onto the brow brush to set my eyebrow hairs in place. You can use a lot of different things for this. If you run out of eyebrow gel, then you can use hairspray for this as well. And in some cases, you can also use pomade. So there's many, many ways to make sure that your eyebrow hairs are sticking down. The key is having the eyebrow brush. We are going to use our brown color here. I'm going to be using this type of mirror. The fact that this brush I have here is slanted, like you really need a slanted brush to do your brows. It makes it a lot easier. And usually when I dip the brush in, I just tap it on top. I want to make sure that my eyebrows are symmetrical. It's like use short strokes if you can't get there all the way. Don't try and just draw it like this. It's cool to just be like, eh. Okay, that was very easy. I just use a couple strokes, step by step, day by day, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to do too much and then mess up your whole eyebrow. So I'm just going to go back under one more time and just make it a little bit darker. I'm just doing the same thing. First, I'm going to make a diagonal line going upwards, and then I'm going to turn my brush to point downwards, so it's easier for me to make that sharp point in that arch. Boom. You see what I'm talking about with the arch? Boom, boom. Match this side with this side because I have some eyebrow issues, so I gotta make sure that they match before I carry forward, I'm just gonna look directly at here and I'm just going to follow. I'm going to continue to drag the line upwards. This is the eyebrow that I be having issues with. So there's a story behind this eyebrow. This eyebrow got messed up when I was a little kid because I was jumping on the bed and I hit the corner of the bed. It was like a box-shaped bed, and I hit the corner of it with the corner of my eyebrow because all the kids were jumping on the bed, and had to get butterfly stitches, and my hairs never grew back there. Gotta deal with this, and that's what I love about makeup. It's like you can do whatever you want. And boom, as you can see, things are beginning to match up here. I got both bottom halves done. Boom. Now I'm gonna focus on the outer corners and just really getting that arch going. I like to tilt my head a little bit, and I'm continuously dipping my brush inside of the brown and then tapping it off. Okay. Boom. Okay, now I'm gonna color the brow in, but I'm not really gonna dip it back in because I have a lot of residue on my brush still. So notice how the bottom half here, I'm dragging upwards always. By the way, I forgot to tell you guys, I got a new camera. But I got a new camera, it's super professional, so that's why the quality of this video is like way better. As I was saying, I was coloring that side of the brow, and now I'm gonna go on to this side and try and match it up. Okay, now I'm just gonna use the residue to color this brow in too, as you can see. And notice how I still have not touched the front of my brows at all. I'm not coloring in the front at all. I'm not touching the front. I'm not boxing off the front. I'm just leaving the front open, and I'm not even touching it by coloring it. I'm only coloring back here. I'm just gonna go over the top one more time because this eyebrow is a little bit thinner than my other one. So if you're feeling like one side needs a little bit more than the other, don't be afraid to do that in order to make them appear the same, you know? I'm gonna take the end of my brush here and I'm just gonna comb upwards, and that's going to spread the makeup of the brow upwards and give it a more natural look in the front rather than having those boxed out brows. And it looks very natural and faded when you do that. And I'm just gonna do the same thing to this side here. Combing upwards. Okay, that was my hype music. I'm not gonna do too much now. Let's just do a little bit more combing. Comb upwards, up. See all that stuff? You can just move your brush side to side, whatever. Okay, so at this point, I'm liking how the brows are looking, but you see, people usually stop right here. They're like, okay, that's it. But if you just do this one next step, it's really gonna take your brow to the next level. Like, when I found out about this changed my whole brow game. CoverGirl concealer, this here, girl, this is all you need to get the cute brow. It does not take a lot. It does not take a lot of money. Okay, so we're gonna pump it up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to slightly go underneath my eyebrow with this concealer to sharpen things up and make me look like the best, most beautiful woman in the world, basically. So let's go right in. Now you want to make the line like real thin. What I like about this concealer is the applicator. Real thin. It don't gotta be too much. See, something slight. It don't gotta be perfect either. It's just something slight. And let it cool off for a second and go to the other one. You're gonna lightly, I'm gently grazing the pen underneath my brow. You know, that is my trouble brow, so I had to tighten up real quick. As you can see, this is how you would be able to conceal if you have hairs that are growing underneath your brow, because all of that concealer, I'm going to use the brush to spread it out and it's going to make it look real clean. So if you have any black hairs poking through or anything like that, you just put more concealer on and boom, nobody even knows what's going on, you know? And I don't feel the need to keep going back and forth with this. I feel like one line is good. So try to keep it to a minimum when you do it, because if not, then you just might mess up the shape of the brow you already made. Now I'm gonna get my little fuzzy wuzzy and I'm going to just first I'm just gonna go on this side because I just feel safer on here. And I'm just gonna try and spread it out a little bit. Seems good. It's very wet, so I just gotta be a little careful here. It's very, very wet. See? It's looking good, it's looking good. Don't be afraid to wipe any excess on yourself so that you can continue and not feel like there's too much going on. You know? Lift your brows so you can keep that line sharp. Perfect. And then we'll go on the other side and do the same thing. I'm just dabbing it, trying to spread it out a little bit first. This one did a perfect job. Notice the movement of my brush. I'm gonna just do it in the camera. See? Just pat, 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 pat. I'm not doing anything crazy, and I'm gonna go back over here and do the same thing and just dab it in. Pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. And keep it going in the same direction so that you keep everything nice and clean, you know? Boom. Now, at this point, we kind of dust off the little thing that we have here. Just dust off any extra, and now is when we kind of blend, because now the consistency of the concealer is not so wet. So this is where you want to blend it out and drag it kind of into your eyeshadow a little bit so that everything looks like it just goes well together, you know? Nice and concealed. Ooh. I love a nice concealer. Okay, so as you can see, we are well blended. Everything's looking real nice around here. Now we're just going to add a little highlighter under the brow, and that's it. Make it twinkly sparkly. And that's how I do my brows, and I hope that this was very helpful for you guys. If you take anything from this video, take to the point of not to do the box brow and also concealer underneath our brows, ladies. Now, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this was entertaining, and I hope you guys all have a great day. See you guys next time.